So the final topic of physics in Science 30, and finally part 23 out of 23 of our Science 30 review, is going to be about the life cycle of stars. So when stars burn out their hydrogen, well, they have what they call a helium flash. They expand out, become giants or red giants, and start burning their helium. If they're large enough, they can perform fusion with larger elements. When they run out of helium, well, the heat and energy and pressure generated from inside goes away. It abates, as they call it. So there's nothing holding all these layers out. And these are very far out. When our sun goes nova, there's some debate about whether or not it'll swallow Mars, but Mercury, Venus, and Earth are definitely going to be contained inside the star. So if we haven't figured out how to colonize other solar systems in the several billion years it's going to take to reach that point, well, we deserve to get wiped out. So as the stars expand, when they finally run out of fuel, well, there's nothing holding them out. The material flashes in, hits the core, and expands out, blasts out into space in that giant cloud. Depending on how much mass is left, we're going to have one of three options. Now, our sun is on the low end of mass, so it's going to be a white dwarf. So it's a dense white ball that used to be a star, but now is more like a giant planet in the middle of a solar system. If they're a little bigger than that, or they're more massive than our star, we can make a neutron star. So this is one that is kind of counterintuitive. It really is one giant nucleus. It's packed so densely, yet there is a very rigid outer crust. But then inside, there's so much gravitational pressure squeezing everything together that our protons combine with electrons to produce neutrons and electron antineutrinos, which then escape because good luck trying to stop those. So everything inside the core of this neutron star is neutrons. It is a giant nucleus. We're talking about an atom that you can walk on. And even more strangely, despite these planetary models and everything we have in mind from previous representations, it's actually also a gas. So everything inside here is one giant gas, which is also a nucleus composed exclusively of neutrons. So you actually don't want to walk on the surface? Yeah, it is a giant nucleus that's kilometers and kilometers long, but the gravity is so intense that you will be turned into a very thin film on the surface if you get anywhere close to it. And if the gravity is greater, if there's so much mass that it can't even withstand this much pressure, it keeps going and collapses to form a black hole. And when you have the black hole, this is something where the gravity is so intense that not even light can escape. Whatever falls in stays in. So this is the final stage of the most massive stars. But with that, we can wrap up our review of the physics content from Science 10, 20, and 30. It's worth noting that a lot of this is going to come back into play when we do Physics 20 this August, September, and so forth. So it may be worth revisiting these in late August before school starts up again, just to remind yourself of what you've seen before.